Hello, everybody. This is Robert from Prophecy Spotlight. Today we're going to take Revelation chapter 13. Now, if you remember, we were looking the other day at Daniel chapter 7. Now, Daniel chapter 7 and Revelation 13, verse 1 to about 10, we're talking about the same person. And this person is not the Antichrist. This person is the horn of the fourth beast. He's a Roman horn. He's a Roman power. He's a Roman emperor. He is the Roman prince to come that we read in Daniel 9, verse 26. Now, what characterized the horn of the fourth kingdom, or the fourth beast, was that we read it was different from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I'm reading Daniel 7, verse 7, end of verse 7, beginning of verse 8, and it had 10 horns. I read a little bit farther in verse 24, and as to the 10 horns, out of his kingdom shall arise 10 kings. So the 10 horns seem to characterize of this fourth empire. He is a little horn. He is the western horn. In chapter 8 of Daniel, we have the eastern horn. Now, I mentioned the other day that none of them were the Antichrist. Unfortunately, many people will put the Antichrist in chapter 7, and they will also do the same in chapter 8, but it's not the Antichrist. It's the Roman prince to come. He will be of Roman blood. He's not of Jewish blood. He's of Roman blood. Now, we're going now to Revelation chapter 13. Now it is no more Daniel that's speaking. It's John, the Apostle John. We call him the seer, John the seer. And he's having also a vision. In chapter 13, we read, "And I saw a beast rising out of the sea, having 10 horns and 7 heads. And upon its horns 10 diadems, and upon its head names of blasphemy." So immediately, we have 10 horns, so we should be aware. 10 horns right there. And also names of blasphemies. In Daniel 7, that's what characterized the horn there. It blasphemes. And in chapter 13, upon its heads, names of blasphemy. And then if we go to verse 5, and there was given to it a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. Verse 6, and open its mouth for blasphemies against God and to blaspheme his name. So we have the same characteristic. The horn in chapter 7 speaks great things and blasphemes God. We go to Revelation 13. John is describing now the beast coming out of the sea. And what does he do? He blasphemes. He says great things against God. Not only that, when we get to verse 7, and there was given to it to make war with the saints and to overcome them. In Daniel 7, the horn made war with the saints. You remember, he wanted to take away the holidays and the feasts, the Jewish feasts. He wanted to change everything. We get the same personage here. He was given to make war with the saints and to overcome them. So this is the same person as in Daniel 7. Now in Daniel 7, it's the prince, the Roman prince. And in Revelation 13, it will be also the same person, the Roman prince to come, the future emperor, the future leader of the Roman prince. Now, it says he comes out, verse 1, rising out of the sea. Now, the sea speaks of turmoil. Everything is upset. Everything is upside down. And out of this turmoil will come out a leader. He will be the Roman leader, the Roman prince to come. And then it says he had 10 horns. So then the 10 horns identify him with Daniel 7. As a matter of fact, verse 1, 10 horns and 7 heads is a typical expression that we find in Revelation, and it always speaks about the leader or the horn of Daniel 7. Remember the horn in Daniel 7? He had 10 horns. 10 kings that were helping him. We read that in Daniel 7 later on. The 10 horns are 10 kings or 10 kingdoms. So the leader in Daniel 7 will be helped by 10 kings or 10 kingdoms by 10 horns. So if we look at Revelation 12, we have the first mention here about and another sign was seen in the heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns. Here we're speaking now about the dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns. So here it is, the dragon that is seen behind the scene. He is the originator. He is the one behind. He's going to be the one behind the Roman prince to come. Okay. Now, the dragon has 10 horns, 7 heads and 10 horns. We went to chapter 13 and then verse 1, having 10 horns and 7 heads. Okay. Now, if you go to Revelation 17, we read in verse 3, and I saw a woman sitting upon the scarlet beast. So there's your beast. There's a woman sitting on it. This woman there is the whore. She's the false bride. She pretends to be the spouse of Christ, but she is not. So the woman sitting upon the scarlet beast. So the woman is controlling the beast, as it were, for a time, full of names of blasphemies, having 7 heads and 10 horns. So there you get your description again of the beast coming out of the sea. Names of blasphemy, like Daniel, names of blasphemy, 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay. If you read a little bit farther in verse 7, and the angel said to me, why hast thou wandered? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and the beast which carries her. So there's the woman and there's the beast. They're 2 different things. But the beast is carrying the woman. And the beast is described as which has 7 heads and 10 horns. So here we have your beast again. 7 heads and 10 horns. So as we return to Revelation 13, people might be doubting that we're speaking about the future Roman Empire to come back alive, to be revived. But this can easily be understood if we read carefully verse 2 of Revelation 13. It's like Daniel speaking. You know, Daniel had four beasts. Okay, one was a lion, one was a bear, the other one was a leopard, and the 4th one, which was the Roman beast, had 10 heads. But now it is John who's taking the same images, but like he's retrospective, he's going backward. Okay, I'll read the verse. And the beast, verse 2, and the beast, 13:2, and the beast which I saw was like to a leopard, and its feet as of a bear, and its mouth as a lion's mouth. So we have here, going backward, the first thing he sees, the leopard. Now this speaks about the Greek, okay, because the Roman arrived after the Greek. And then we go to the bear, which was the Persian Empire, and then we go to the lion, which was the Babylon Empire, or the Chaldea Empire. The apostle is like going backward. The fourth beast with 10 horns, the Roman beast with 10 horns and its leader, they are borrowing from the other empires what was good. This was typical of the Roman Empire. They did not destroy culture. They did not, many things they kept. Whatever was useful for the Roman Empire to be greater and greater, they would keep. Okay, and now we see them as having come from these three empires, and the fourth one is presented here. He is presented as a beast with 10 horns. Now, this leader, this Roman leader, this future prince to come, he will be empowered. Now, remember, we read in verse 12 that the dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, the dragon energizes him. He gives him all his power. And this we read in verse 3, and the dragon gave to it his power and his throne and great authority. So here we see that it is Satan that gives him the throne. It is Satan that gives him the power. This is why he will be so powerful. At one time he was not in existence, and suddenly he comes again in existence with power. But the difference is he will have to split his power. It's not pure imperial power like the first beast or the Roman beast was imperial. He had all the power. One man ruled everything, the Caesars. That was the last of it, And this imperial power would rule everything. But in the future, there will be an imperial power. There will be a Roman prince, a Roman emperor that will come, but he will have to share his power with 10 horns. And that's the big difference. In the revised Roman Empire, he will not be alone. The 10 horns will share with him. We read that in chapter 17. And the 10 horns, they give him power for an hour. An hour is not a time lapse. An hour is at the same period. So whenever this Roman emperor rules, this horn that rules in chapter 7 and in chapter 13, he will be helped by the 10 horns. The 10 horns will be with him for an hour. For a period of time, they will both rule together. But the horn of Daniel 7, or here the prince to come, the future Roman prince to come, will share this power with the 10 horns. So that gives you a little bit, spotlight a little bit on Revelation 13. The beast coming out of the sea, like I say, is not the Antichrist here. It is the same personage as Daniel 7, which is a Roman of Roman blood, a Roman prince to come, a Roman leader to come. And in Revelation 13, we see this new leader coming out, empowered by Satan, but sharing his power with 10 horns. So, may the Lord help you, may the Lord keep you, and may the Lord bless you. Have a good day.